Have you ever worked incredibly hard for something, finally got it, and then felt absolutely nothing? It's a strange, scary feeling. You climb the mountain, you stand at the top, but instead of feeling like a winner, you just feel tired. You look at your hands, and even though they are full of achievements, your heart feels empty. You start to wonder if something is wrong with you. You start to ask, is this it? Is this all there is? If you've ever felt that heavy silence in your chest, then you need to hear this story. It's not just a story, it's a mirror. And if you look closely, it might just show you the path to the peace you've been chasing for so long. Let me introduce you to a young man named Daniel. Now, looking at Daniel from the outside, you would think he had the perfect life. In his village, he was the guy everyone looked up to. He was strong, he was smart, and he was the first person to volunteer when things got tough. If a heavy rock needed moving, Daniel moved it. If a bridge needed building, Daniel was there laying the planks. He was a hero in the eyes of his neighbors, but Daniel had a secret. He was very good at hiding it, but it was eating him alive. Despite all the clapping, all the praise, and all the trophies, he felt like he was walking through a fog. He would go home at night, sit on the edge of his bed, and feel a deep, aching hole in his chest. He kept thinking that if he just did more, if he worked harder, earned more, fixed more problems, the hole would fill up. But it never did. It just got wider. He was winning the game of life, but he felt like he was losing his soul. One day, he couldn't take the weight of the mask anymore. He heard whispers about an old man named Eli living on the edge of the forest. People said Eli didn't speak much, but when he didn't give you answers, he gave you eyes to see the answers yourself. So Daniel packed a bag and went to find him. When he arrived at the little wooden hut, he found Eli sitting quietly, just watching the leaves fall. There was no magic, no flashing lights, just an old man who looked like he was best friends with the silence around him. Daniel sat down and let it all out. He told him, "Grandpa Eli, I don't understand. I do everything right. I work harder than anyone. I check every box on the list of how to be successful. But I'm miserable. It feels like I'm chasing the wind. Please tell me how to find real happiness." Eli looked at him. He didn't offer a philosophical lecture. He didn't tell him to meditate for 10 years. Instead, he pointed to an old beat-up bucket sitting in the corner. "I will help you," Eli said softly. "But first, I need a favor. I'm too old to carry water from the river. Take this bucket. For 1 week, I want you to go to the river, fill it up to the brim, and pour it into the water tank in my garden." Daniel looked at the bucket. It was old wood, held together by rusty metal hoops, but the most obvious thing was a large crack running down the side. It was clearly broken. But Daniel respected the old man, so he didn't argue. He thought, if this is the price for wisdom, I'll do it. The next morning, the sun was blazing hot. Daniel grabbed the bucket and walked down the long, dusty path to the river. He dipped it in the cool water, filled it to the brim, and started the long walk back up the hill. This is where the trouble started. As he walked, the water began to leak from the crack. Drip, drip, splash. By the time he had walked just halfway, the bucket was half empty. He tried walking faster, hoping to save the water, but that just made the water splash out more. By the time he reached Eli's garden and poured the water into the tank, barely a cup was left. Daniel felt foolish. He was a man who prided himself on doing things perfectly. This felt like failure. The second day was the same. He tried holding the bucket at a different angle. He tried covering the crack with his hand, but the water slipped through his fingers.
The sun beat down on his neck. The dust covered his shoes and his frustration grew. He watched the water vanish into the dry dirt of the path, and he felt like that water was his time and effort wasted. By the fourth day, Daniel was angry. He thought the old man was playing a cruel joke on him. He was trying to figure out the secret to solving your problems, but all he was getting was a muddy path and sore shoulders. He felt like the cracked bucket was a symbol of his own life. No matter how much he put in, everything just drained away. The week dragged on. Every day, the same routine. River, leak, empty bucket, failure. Finally, the seventh day arrived. Daniel was done. He marched up to Eli, placed the bucket down with a thud, and hung his head. "I failed," Daniel admitted, his voice tight with disappointment. "I tried my best, Eli. I really did. But this bucket, it's broken, it's flawed. No matter how hard I try, the water leaks out. I'm wasting my time, and I'm wasting your water. I can't do this." He waited for the old man to scold him. He waited to be told he wasn't trying hard enough. Instead, Eli smiled. It was a warm smile, full of kindness. "You think you failed?" Eli asked. "You think the water was wasted? Look at the bucket," Daniel said. "It's empty." "No," said Eli gently, standing up. "Don't look at the bucket. Look at the path." Daniel turned around. He looked back down the long trail he had walked every day for the past week. He blinked. He hadn't noticed it because he was so focused on the bucket, but now he saw it clearly. One side of the path was dry and dusty, just rock and dirt. But on the other side, the side where the cracked bucket had leaked water every single day, there was a long, beautiful line of wildflowers. Green grass was shooting up, and bright blossoms were opening their petals to the sun. Daniel was stunned. Where did these come from? "You watered them," Eli said, putting a hand on Daniel's shoulder. "I always knew the bucket was cracked. I didn't try to fix it. Instead, I planted seeds along the side of the path. Every day, while you thought you were failing, you were actually creating life. That leaking water wasn't wasted, Daniel. It was nourishing beauty." Eli sat back down and looked Daniel in the eyes. "This is the lesson you came for," the old man said. "You are chasing perfection. You think that because you have flaws, or because you feel empty, or because things don't go exactly as planned, that you are failing. You think you are a broken bucket, but it is our cracks, our flaws, and our struggles that make us useful. We are all broken in some way, but it is through those cracks that our light shines out. It is through our struggles that we help others grow. If the bucket was perfect, there would be no flowers. If you were perfect, you wouldn't understand the struggle of others. True happiness isn't about reaching the destination with a full bucket. It's about understanding that the journey, even the messy, leaking, imperfect parts of it, is creating something beautiful that you might not see yet." Daniel looked at the flowers again. He realized that while he was stressing about what he was losing, he was blind to what he was giving. The emptiness he felt was because he was only looking at the water he kept, not the water he shared with the world. He didn't need to be perfect to be valuable. He didn't need to be full to be complete. He went back to his village, and nothing had changed on the outside. He still had work to do, he still had problems to solve, but everything had changed on the inside. He stopped trying to be a statue of perfection and started accepting his cracks. And in doing that, he found the peace he was looking for. My friends, we live in a world that demands we be perfect. We constantly see videos about how to be successful in life that tell us we must never fail. We think that if we have anxiety or fear or sadness, we are broken goods. But just like Daniel, you need to turn around and look at your path. Maybe your struggles are teaching someone else how to survive. Maybe your vulnerability is giving someone else the courage to speak up. Don't hate your cracks. Don't hate your flaws. That is where your humanity lives. That is where your flowers grow. So, if you are currently on a journey of self-improvement and trying to find inner peace, remember that overcoming failure isn't about erasing your past. It is about finding happiness within the mess. Take a moment for some mindfulness. Look at the life lessons your struggles have taught you and embrace them. Your mental health matters more than your perfection. True wisdom and motivation come from accepting who you are. That is the true purpose of life. If this story helped you see your own path a little differently today, please consider hitting that like button. It helps this message reach other people who might be feeling broken right now. And if you want to hear more stories that touch the heart and soothe the soul, please subscribe and join our family. Until next time, keep walking your path and don't forget to appreciate the flowers. Thank you for watching.